This is the third in a series of tutorials on using the Good Spirit School Division contact tracking form. In this tutorial, we're going to look at examining the data and analyzing the data once it's been entered. In our first tutorial, we looked at setting up the system. In the second tutorial, we looked at the form and how to enter data. And now we're going to look at what that data looks like once it's come into the spreadsheet from the form. In the interim, I've added some more data from students, and I did that through the form, not in the spreadsheet. Okay, so we're always using the form, either by going form, go to live form, or by using that shortcut we created on the desktop in that first lesson. So you can start to see here now that the tallies are coming in for the number of students we've seen at Yorkton Regional High School, at Yorkdale, and at Columbia, and also tallying the methods of contact for the students, parents, administrators, teachers, and so on. The data is essentially organized across the spreadsheet in the same order you entered it on the form. So we have EAs, counselors, and others, and then we have the outside agencies listed and tallies for them. Toward the end, time spent on contacts is also tallied here. So you can see that we've spent 1.3 hours. It's calculating this in hours now, even though you entered it in minutes on the form. And in Yorkdale, we've spent 1 2/3 hours and so on student contact or student-related contacts. So that's just looking at the data in the spreadsheet itself. That's pretty much raw data. It's somewhat hard to extract meaning out of that other than the totals that are tallied at the top. Let's say, for example, someone asked us how much time we'd spent and what kind of contacts we'd made regarding a particular student or related to a particular school. To do that, we're going to filter our results. So we're going to go to View and go to List View instead of Normal View. Now in List View, this is recognizably the same data, although it looks a little bit different. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say, I want to know what Dennis Mitchell has been up to. Now in this case, there was only one Dennis, so his records appeared, but if there's more than one Dennis, we can filter that further by just dropping down and choosing the name. And now we see only the contact information related to Dennis Mitchell, including our notes here at the end. We want to change that to see it all again. We just change this to all. Or let's say that we wanted to know all of the data, all of the contact information for a particular school. We can drop that column down and let's say in this case pick the regional high school. And it will immediately query and find only those entries. So that's one way we can start to make some meaning out of data, especially if we're asked to do so by someone else. To go back to regular spreadsheet view, we just come up here and click on Go to Spreadsheet View. And it returns us to the regular view. Now another way of making sense of the data is with some of the graphs and information that are provided in another way. So if we go to Form and go to Show Summary of Responses, it opens up another window. And we can start to see here now that it's starting to tally. Here are our tallies for each school. On the right, further down, we have some graphs and again the tallies. So we have both the raw numbers on the right and the graph on the left. So in this case, it's showing us that we've had 2 contacts at the grade 3 level, 2 contacts at the grade 11 level, and only 1 contact at the grade 8 level. This other is because of the one bogus student entry at the beginning, and that's distorting our data right now, but as time goes on, that will become less significant in the picture. We see here that all of our contact with students has been direct contact. But with parents, we have tended to phone more often, 3 times out of 5, and direct once and email once. So again, each of these is graphed to show us the distribution of our methods of contact with each particular agency or person involved with the student. When you see these symbols, it simply means that there haven't been any responses in that category, so it can't graph it. And we see here the result of contact summary for that as well. And down at the very bottom, the number of daily responses. And of course, I've done all of these within 1 day, so the graph is rather meaningless there. But you can see over a period of time how your workload will fluctuate somewhat according to the number of entries that you put in. And that's an example of how we can use those summary graphs. We can also go in here and see completed responses. And that's going to take us back to our spreadsheet once again. And that's a very quick summary of how you can examine and analyze the data you've entered directly in the spreadsheet through the list view and through the graphs which lie underneath the form menu. Show summary of responses. If you have any further questions, you can direct them to Quentin and he can ask me, and we'll try to put together a video tutorial on those strategies as well.